This week on Hermitcraft. This week on Hermitcraft. Really? No one?
Nah, I changed the password to bring back Keralis.
Ah, brilliant! No one will ever guess that, except for Vintage Beef, who already kinda did.
Oh well. He can go worse than Zombie Cleo already did.
This is Pixel Riffs, yeah, and this is Zloy XP.
Now that's just asking for trouble.
And she's gonna get it. This is violation of free speech right here, and we don't have to stand for it. Viewers, click the icon, go to her video, flood her comments with hashtag justice for Zloy. We shall have our revenge.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, you know, the other horse.
And my name is Zloy XP. Bet you didn't expect me to stick around for the rest of the video.
And with the ritual horse burning out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting, of course, with the ever-burning question, how did they get here?
It's funny because you don't actually watch Rick and Morty. References aside, this week Xuma, Falls, Scar, Kapfen and Joe Hills got together to take a stab at the hidden How Did We Get There challenge. You know, the one Pixel has been attempting in his hardcore live streams for ages now, except they actually completed.
Hey!
More so they leave behind a crash course for other people to easily complete the challenge, pulling together a Shulker, an Elder Guardian and a Widow Skeleton, with various degrees of success.
Well, he's been smacked by all those potions. He's eaten a golden apple.
Yep.
Is okay, and then now.
Oh no!
No, he didn't get the wither.
Once he's back from the end, Joe Hills decides to update his maps of Red Sky Bay since everything has changed around a bit, and tours some of his builds with fancy shaders, so the sky can actually be red for once, and his Death House build is extra spooky.
You want spooky? Check out False Symmetry's Gallows. Yeah, she has a freaking hanging device just sitting in the middle of her base now. It's even redstone automated. Oh, and she has a contraption that plays ABBA music.
Wait, at the same time?
I'll let you decide which one is scarier.
You know, if she built a guillotine, it would make much more sense since people actually drop heads when they get killed. It doesn't help with skeletons though, as BOO discovers this week when he spends a while grinding at the NHO spawner for no such reward. It turns out the heads you can obtain from a charged creeper farm aren't actually in the modified loot tables.
3,262. I've killed so many skeletons. Spiders 28. This is recent.
Will you stop giving ideas to people who already built a giant skull and burned houses for their crazy gods? Speaking of which, Cleo is actually done with the inner sanctum of her holy head temple. It kinda looks like Russian packaged from condensed milk though.
Oh, come on, how many horses do you want her to burn?
Okay, let's look at Xuma's giant skulls instead.
Skulls? He has two now? When did that happen?
Rendok brought it. He can't just do a tour of someone's base without building a giant cow head. That's just how he rolls. So far it's the cow head built by Rendok and a skull built by Iskal. That one even blinks now as X rigged it to daylight sensor. Ren moves on to build a mining outpost and complete his passive mushroom cow farm, but it refused to walk. Pretty much for no other reason than Iskal being a joke.
All the mushrooms are spawning on your mycelium. You need to get that jazz covered up so that we can start generating steaks. You know what the Iskal said to me after that? Guys, I cannot even begin to believe the words that came out of that Swedish potato's mouth, man. He said, well, I don't really know what I want to do with my side of the island yet, so I'm not going to cover it in concrete. Instead, I'm just going to take wheat out of your wheat farm and I'm just going to eat bread.
Them bickering might not go well for the Mobilisa project, which has been getting some progress. Thankfully, Iskal hires Stress Monster for the terraforming part of it.
Not with that face, we don't. Take that face off.
This is my beautiful
No,
face.
take the face off.
You want to take his face?
Take that face off.
Yes. His face. Oh. This is the face that I wake up with every morning. The face.
Despite all that, Stress comes around and does some work on the map. Could it be that this season we actually get to see them play the minigame?
With the massive projects on the go, Iskal finds himself hard-pressed for materials, particularly iron for the storage system hoppers, so you know where this is going. Him and Tanga even work out a deal, since being the nether hub engineer puts Iskal in a perfect position to acquire ridiculous amounts of netherrack, which Tanga is basically building his base off.
It's a pretty good deal, as with his new sugarcane and cactus farm, it's getting hard to find a resource Tango doesn't have a farm for. Lucky too, as Cubfan might be getting a tad sick of digging out the nether.
Okay. Sweet. Okay, let's follow it out there a little ways.
Cub's farm area is once again expanded with colorful AFK sheep farm that he also uses to get sheep heads of all kind. His hunt for heads even brings him to compete with Scar in the amount of cuts he has. Speaking of which,
Scar's sheepheads are still attached to sheep, who apparently have no regard for public highway laws.
He's just always jaywalking across the street. Oh look, he heard us. He just ran back to the sidewalk.
Popping up some modern houses here and there, Scar starts the construction of the first Scar City skyscraper. A Scar scraper, if you will. Also, Scar should learn to trust his Twitch chat more.
Found out that beds explode in the nether. That is right. I thought the Twitch chat was trolling me, saying that the beds would have the power of 1,000 scars if you were to sleep in them. And apparently they do. They blew this whole corridor up, and of course me, and all of my items.
XB Crafted has his own views on the architecture. Forget the double-decker couch, we've got double-decker houses up in this piece. The mansion gets one more staircase, a blacksmith and some bunk beds for his mining outpost, just in time for a home inspection by BOO.
XB returns the favour and learns a little bit more about BOO than he ever wanted to.
The master bedroom.
Oh, and that's a zombie.
Okay. This was from last night. Don't worry about that.
I mean, whatever you do in your own, in your own bedroom.
Jevin hooks up a proper storage segment to his mob grinder in the sky and overall gives a facelift to his base bits, including of course the villager breeder and a trading cave. But a quick fix won't do it if you're simple as we and you wrote a book on villager breeders, naming the nose doofuses after his patrons of course.
Doc M meanwhile goes even further and creates what one commenter accurately describes as Tinder for villagers, except swiping left freaking kills them.
So like a regular Tinder then.
Having already sorted his villagers through equally violent means, TFC actually starts trading with them and his investment pays off.
Zeta finally moves all his stuff to the Crystal Caves, leaving the starting hall a mere 17 episodes in, and starts constructing his own soda mixing machine, which is just our quirky way of saying potion brewer.
Stuff, that is a weird looking rotated melon. In fact, look, it looks like a little face with a green hat on or something.
Wells Knight digs out a bunch of stone while telling the story of how his wife and he got together and sets up the interiors of his stables.
See Cleo, this is how you treat your horses.
Will you let it go already?
Says the one who wasn't burned.
Vintage Beef builds the comeback fishing shack out on one of the jungle's many waterways, recruits a fellow butcher to staff the NHO Welcome Center, and accidentally gives us a progress update on Etho's Nexus while he's mapping more of the jungle.
Here, what the heck is that? Is this just like a storage system or something? What is this? Okay, well, that's cool.
And finally there's Mamba Jumbo and his larger-than-life sorting system, now feature complete and halfway done with the visual aspect of it. Took him a while, but just look at how big it is. And to think, all that just because he doesn't feel like tidying his room.
But it's nice to see it actually on the Hermitcraft server, built by hand, in survival mode, and also in a slightly different style. Obviously I haven't copied it for block, and I actually think that this one looks better. I know that sounds silly, but I'm much preferring this one than the other one.
And now the Hermitcraft Recap is proud to present the debut of the Allium Alliance portion of the recap. Zloy, cue the theme song.
I play Hermitron Go every day. I play Hermitron Go.
Did you lose the original MP3 for it?
Yeah, why did you think the song was different every time?
Having gathered plenty of pink stuff and even filled the tree stump she has with it, Stress Monster has set a care package for the rest of the Allium Alliance members, containing the pretty pink uniform, an Allium Alliance branded shield, and a rulebook, which pretty much amounts to B-dubs, stop taxing the Mesa you butt. Also, wear these pajamas.
Funny enough, this means that Allium Alliance now is more legitimized than the NHO itself. They have a uniform, a set of rules, and even a clubhouse. And they aren't killing each other on a daily basis, so go figure.
This, as you might expect, doesn't go down so well with B-dubs.
Accept no taxes, matey NHO. We are a peaceful and caring alliance who wants the best for the hermit.
An extortion is a definite no-no. Every shield that looks exactly like this must burn in a flame. Here are my rules, okay?
And that's just about it for this week's recap. I haven't XP until Zombie Clear burned my house.
Shut up about that already! And my name is Pixel Riffs. You can find our channels in the video description, and in this week's end cards, I built a shipwreck that might just be my favourite build ever.
Don't forget to leave a like if you're still here, subscribe so you won't miss future episodes of the recap, share this video with the Hermitcraft fans in your life, and if you don't have any, join the Hermitcraft community on Reddit.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.